Welcome back to Tiny Grimes Games, and I'm here with another LEGO Star Wars Battles video, and today I bring you my top 10 tips for the new player. Now remember, these are tips from a player who's only been playing about 6 days. These tips are definitely geared for the free-to-play player. If you're not free to play, I think you'll take a lot away from this, but some of these you're going to laugh at and be like, what are you talking about? I'll just spend $100, and boom, then I'll have it. So this is for the person who's looking to play this as a free-to-play game, or maybe spending that tiny bit here and there. All right, tip number 1. I've already made a whole video about this. You cannot upgrade all your cards. It's just not possible. Now, is it great? Yes, it makes your base level go up, and that's fantastic. The problem you're going to find is that you only have so many studs. I have 1607 now, and if you go through and were to add up all the amounts that it would cost to upgrade all my cards, it's about 1600. And then, when I go ahead and get the rest of the resources I need to upgrade to level 6 IG-88 here, which I actually don't know how much it's going to be. I'm guessing about 800. I just wouldn't have the money to do it, and I would be very sad. So instead, what you're going to have to do is figure out what are the right cards to be leveling up right from the beginning. These are going to be guys like the Fire Guy, IG-88, the Probe Droid, the Bomber. So I would suggest either try to figure it out from games, look at some tier lists, or look at my video on which cards you want to be upgrading. Tip number 2. Don't spend all your crystals. Looks like I have tons of crystals, right? I have 482 crystals. And if you look, I can spend them right here. I can just go in here, instant unlock that one for 8. Instant unlock that one for 14. And that would feel great because look, I keep getting all these crystals for these quests I'm doing. I'm warning you guys, this is one of those mobile tricks, okay? I'm actually on my last crystal quest. I know it looked like they were going to come forever, didn't it? They don't. And I imagine once they're gone, and then you're going, oh, well maybe I won't need crystals for things. Oh, wait, I want to join these events? Oh my, wait, this one just straight up costs $2.99? Wow, okay, I didn't realize that one. I hadn't clicked on that one yet. The other one I played in cost something like 50 crystals or something, but you're going to want to use crystals for a wide variety of things. You're going to want to use crystals for events. Another thing is when you open these packs here, there are going to be times when it says like, hey, you only got 3 shots, but you can take another shot if you want for 5 crystals, 10 crystals, and usually you're going to pass on that, but every now and then it's going to be like, ugh, that's the card I've been desperately wanting. I feel like just blowing all your crystals to unlock packs, if you are a free-to-play player, is just going to be a bad idea. I watched a video where someone said like, yeah, just spend all your crystals on that. And I did it a couple times, and I was like, this is a terrible, terrible plan. So I do not suggest it at all. Okay, tip number 3, always be unlocking. Always, 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 always have something unlocking. I currently have this one unlocking. And better yet, try to have stuff that you save that unlocks overnight. So there's like some that take 4 and some that take 8. If you can get an 8, that's just perfect. Right before bed, bloop, you click unlock, 8 hours later, boom, it's magically done. So you always want to be unlocking stuff, and you want to try to be as smart as you can about making sure the longer window stuff is unlocking during the time when you don't have access to the game. All right, tip number 4. Always check the shop. The shop is down here. The shop isn't just to sell you ridiculously priced things like $20 bundle for stuff I don't actually really want. Some of the bundles, like it was $1.99 for the original bundles. I passed on those, so apparently they were like, no, Tiny must want the big buck bundles. I'm going to tell you, LEGO Star Wars Battles. You offer me a 99-cent bundle, maybe. You offer me a $19.99 bundle, I think you've lost your mind. Okay. But when you go to the card shop, this row here on the upper left will always be free. Get them all. There's no reason not to get the free ones. I also really like both of the next two. Getting 10 of a really powerful card for 400 studs can be quite worth it. Getting 5 for 200 is good. I haven't done like the 80 studs for 3,200 studs for 80 shards or something. Like getting 80 shards of Cassian here would really help my light side lineup. Like, it would really help it. But I'm a free-to-play player, and I don't have 3,200 studs to just blow on that. So I don't know if maybe at some point in the game I'm going to, but I really don't think so. I feel like the whole bottleneck here as the free-to-play player is going to be those studs and being able to upgrade stuff. Like if I spent $3,200 to buy Cassian, there is no way I'd be able to upgrade him after that. And in order to get that many studs, that is going to be a package of like 3 of these at 100 each, which is we're looking at $3 basically, $3 to get all those Cassians. Now, if you're not a free-to-play player, you may be like $3 for 80 Cassians. Heck yeah, that's going to vault me so far ahead, it's ridiculous. And that's one of the places where you're seeing sort of that difference between the free-to-play player and the paid player. That's a pretty big difference, I think, getting 80 Cassians for $3. Okay, but as the free-to-play player, I'm sorry, don't look at that row. You're not going to be able to afford it. Okay, here's a big one. This is a huge one that, I'm going to be honest, I didn't realize for a little while. You can rearrange your lineup here, and whatever is in your top row is what you're going to see in your opening hand, which is a big deal. Do you want your hand to be full of really, really expensive things? Go for it. It's going to be a terrible idea because you're going to drop something for 5 or 6 or something, and then your opponents will just go in the other lane, your base will eat it, and then that didn't work out very well. The way you do it, though, is you'll go click on this, hit use, and then, like, let's say I don't even want this guy in my lineup, let's say, but I wanted to move this battle droid to the second row. I could do that, and then click use on him, and put him back in wherever it is that I actually want him. So it's not the easiest way to do it, because the problem is this. Maybe I'm missing something, but when you only have this many cards and you don't actually have other cards, if you look, like use, move, you can't slide them. At least on the BlueStacks Android thing I'm using, I have no way to move them. Maybe when it's out on iOS and it's on my phone, I'll be able to just slide them around or like long hold them and move them. I don't know what the process is going to be, but with a mouse, I can't move them. But don't panic. Don't panic. You can always move them from the bottom, move them up, rearrange them that way. It's a big deal. You know what? We're gonna upgrade this, dude. 10. I think I can afford 10. I think I can afford 10 studs. Okay. Next tip. Tip number 6. This one was where we're starting to get into like the real nuts and bolts of this, which is learn the units and which ones counter others. And you can be assured that I will have a video very soon on this because it's a huge, huge deal. If someone plays Luke Skywalker, it's really nice to know that you can just drop a probe droid. You don't want to drop him right next to Luke because Luke has a special that he can actually kill everything in front of him. But let's say he's already done that especially. You can drop this probe droid. Luke is essentially holding a stick. It looks like a lightsaber, but it sure doesn't reflect bullets. And he can't even hit the probe droid. The probe droid just hard counters him. Now, if you look at the info, it'll tell you, hey, he's strong against them. But it doesn't really explain that Luke can't actually even touch him, which is kind of a huge deal. And he's weak against Cassian because Cassian also shoots, but Cassian has a larger range. And so these are the things that you need to learn. IG-88 and Cassian are essentially the same. You put them far away from something, it counters anything like that. The flamethrower guy, you can put that down in front of a swarm of anything, it just goes wipes them all out. All those low hit point guys are dead. So it's really important to start learning what counters what if you want to really move up in the ranks. Okay, tip number 7. Do well in your league. And that might seem like, okay, like, can I actually control that? And apparently you can. Maybe it's just because it hasn't been released sort of worldwide yet, but I won my league last week. I'm currently winning it now, and I am not claiming to be amazing at this game. I am not like a top-level Clash Royale player who's like, cool, Clash with Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan who is not any good at Clash, who is still getting first in the leaderboard without a problem last week. I destroyed the leaderboard. I think it's mostly just games played is what it's looking like. So play some games, win some games, be cognizant of the leaderboard, right? Like if you're close to the top, get the top. Look at the difference here. The top is 3 copies of an epic that I desperately want in BB-8 and 90 crystals versus half the crystals and not BB-8. Instead, you're getting some porgs. Womp womp. All right. Those are 7 tips that can help you sort of out of game. Now we're going to go for 3 tips for in-game. And as we start these, I'll start up a game And we'll take these tips into the game and we'll see how well we can employ them. So tip number 8 is this. Do not go for the opponent's headquarters. You're not going to get it down. It's just not going to happen unless your opponent is terrible or something really weird happens. The goal is not to get their headquarters down. It is just not a reality. So as you see me play this game, I am not in any way going for their headquarters. Also, your goal is tip number 9. Your goal is not to win pretty. Like, your goal is not to win with your headquarters at full health. If your headquarters is at a sliver, that's worrisome because your opponent can just do things like throw down a bomber and kill it out of nowhere at the end. So winning by a sliver might not be advisable, but winning by anything more than a sliver is fine. That's a resource that if you don't let your HQ take any health, you basically just were like, nah, I don't need that resource. It's cool. I'm just gonna not use one of the resources I have. That is not an advisable way to do well in any game you're playing. Use all your resources. Let that HQ take some damage. If they just foolishly throw out some big dude, just fine. Go get the HQ. Now the towers, you got to protect those. Those things will die. And they'll die very easily. But the HQ, that thing takes a beating before it dies. You don't really need to worry about your HQ going down right away. All right, last tip. As simple as this. All you got to do is win by a tower, okay? You don't have to destroy your opponent. You don't have to sweep them. You just have to win by one tower. And this goes back to the don't go for their HQ. The HQ is irrelevant. Just try to win by a tower. That's all you're trying to do. Win one tower is a victory. All right, well, those are my 10 tips today. I'm sure I'll have another 10 tips video in the future as both I gain more experience and the game's been out longer. We'll go ahead and finish up this game as we take ourselves out of here. But these are the 10 tips for today. What I would love to know from you is, are you playing Lego Star Wars Battles? Are you enjoying it? How's it going for you? Look at this. Remember when I said all we got to do is win by a tower, right? Well, guess what? They don't have any towers left. We've got one. All we have to do is defend it, and we win. Here's our flamethrower guy to counter these porgs. And it looks like we've got this Tauntaun. Look at him. He's like, I got it. I got it, boss. I got it. You don't have anything, Tauntaun. The dark side is victorious. All right. Well, I'll see you next time on Tiny Crimes Games. I hope you're enjoying Lego Star Wars Battles as much as I am. And hopefully I'll see you on the battlefield soon. See you later.